Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's question on arrays topic is rearrange array alternatively. The question states that given a sorted array of positive integers, your task is to rearrange the array elements alternatively. That is, the first element should be max value, second should be min value, third should be second max, fourth should be second min, and so on. You should not use any extra space while performing these operations. The input contains three lines. The first line denotes the number of test cases, the second line denotes the number of array elements, and the third line contains the actual array elements. The output will be the modified array in max-min fashion. Let's have a look at the examples. In example 1, the size of the array is 6 and the array elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So after applying the modifications, the contents of the array would be 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. That is max min and max min. In case of example 2, the size of the array is 11 and the array elements are 10, 20, 30 up to 110, and the modified array would be 110, 10, 120, 90, 30 and so on. So now let's have a look at the approach to solve this particular problem. Before moving to the problem, let's have a look at the intuition behind this problem. For that, consider two numbers a and b whose values are 4 and 5. Also consider another number n whose value is greater than a and b. Let's consider the value of n to be 6. So if we want to store the values of a and b in a single number, let's call this number as x, then we can do it by using the following formula, where x is equal to a plus b times n. That is, a gets added with a multiple of n and then the whole value is stored in x. So the value of x will be 34. And now if we want to retrieve back the values of a and b using x, we can do it as follows. A's value can be retrieved by using x mod n. So we get back the value of a as 4, and similarly if we want to retrieve back b's value, we can do it using x divided by n. So we get b's value as 5. So what we can observe here is that we can store the values of two numbers in a single number, and then while retrieving, if we want the value of first number, then we can perform the modular operation, and if we want the second value, then we can perform the division operation. So now head on to our actual problem. Let's consider the same example given in the question where the contents of array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since this array will be modified in the future, let's keep a reference of this array. We declare two variables called min and max, which points to the beginning and ending of the array. We also declare another variable m, which was similar to the n variable in the previous slide, whose value will be greater than the greatest element of the array. Since the greatest element or the largest element of the array is 6, let's consider the value of m as 6 plus 1, which will be 7. And now what we do is that we traverse the array from left to right, and at each traversal we modified the contents of the array. So initially I points to 0, and the right side of the screen shows the formulae for even and odd index values. So I points to 0, therefore we update the value of a of I as a of I plus a of max mod m into m. The reason for using mod operation is that as we move further during a traversal, the previous elements will be modified. That is, the previous elements will be added or will be multiplied by the multiple of m. So in order to get the original element, we need to perform a mod operation. You will get thorough idea as we move further in a question. So now I points to 0, and let us calculate the value of a of I as 1 plus 6 mod 7 into 7. So the value of a of 0 will be 43. So now let's update the value of a of 0, and then let us print the second value. That is, the second value was 6. As we have seen in the previous slide, if we want the first value, then we need to perform the mod operation, and if we want the second value, we need to perform the division operation. And since here we want the largest value first, therefore we print 43 divided by 7, which is 6. So the output will contain 6. And now we decrement the value of max and increment I. So now I points to an odd memory location, which is 1. So again we calculate the value of a of I using the second formula, which is a of I is equal to a of I plus a of min mod m into m. So the value of a of 1 will be 2 plus 1 mod 7, which is 1, into 7, which is 7, and 2 plus 7 would be 9. So let's update the value of a of 1 as 9 and then print 9 divided by 7, which is 1. So the output will contain 6 and 1. So we got a first largest and first smallest element. Now let's move further by incrementing the value of I and min as well. So now I points to the memory location 2, which is an even value. Therefore we make use of the first formula and calculate the value of a of 2 as 3 plus 5 mod 7 into 7. So the value of a of 2 will be 38. Let's update the contents of a of 2 as 38 and then print 38 divided by 7, which is 5. So 5 is our second largest element and now we will print 5. So again we increment the value of I and decrement the value of max. Now I points to 3, which is an odd number. Therefore we calculate the value of a of 3 as 4 plus 9 mod 7 into 7. So the value of a of 3 will be 18. Let's update the contents of a of 3 and then print 18 divided by 7, which is 2. Again we increment I and also increment min as well. So now I points to 4, which is an even number. So we calculate the value of a of 4 as 5 plus 18 mod 7 into 7. So the value of a of 4 will be 33. Let's update the contents of a and now print 33 divided by 7, which is 4. So we got 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, that is max, min, and max. Now let's increment I and decrement max. So now I points to the last memory location, which is 5, which is an odd number. So we calculate the value of a of 5 as a of I plus a of min mod m into m, which is 6 plus 38 mod 7 into 7. So the value of a of 4 will be 27. And let's update the value of a of I as 27 and then print 27 divided by 7, which is 3. So we get our output as 615243, and as we can see in a reference array, the initial values of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and the final modified array is 615243. So now let's begin with the actual code. Initially we declare a variable t which denotes the number of test cases and then accept the value of t. Then we insert a while loop for t test cases, and at every test case we declare another variable called n, which is the size of the array, and then accept the value of n. After that we declare a array A of size n and then accept the array elements. After getting the array elements, we can declare few more variables as we have seen in the explanation part. The first of which will be min, which points to the starting of the array. Similarly max, which points to the end of the array, which is n minus 1. And finally m, whose value is greater than the greatest element in the array. Since we consider our array as sorted, therefore the last element will be the greatest, and therefore we can keep the value of m as last element plus 1, that is a of n minus 1 plus 1. It is not mandatory to use 1, we can use plus 2, plus 3 and so on. It must be just greater than the greatest element. So now let's begin with the actual algorithm where we traverse the array from I is equal to 0 to n. And at each traversal, we check whether if I points to even index or odd index. In case if I points to even index, that is if I mod 2 is equal to 0, then we make use of the formula a of I is equal to a of I plus a of max mod m into m, and then we decrement the value of max. Similarly, in case if I points to odd index, then the formula would be somewhat same. The only difference is that instead of max, we would use min and then increment the value of min. And finally, as we want a second value among the two values which we are stored at a single memory location, since we want a second value, therefore we can print a of I divided by m. In case if we wanted the first value, we could have performed the mod operation, but since we want a second value, therefore we are doing a of I divided by m. And finally we can insert a line break. And we are done with the code. Now we can compile it to check whether it contains any errors. Since our code got compiled successfully, we can move further and submit the code. And it got submitted successfully. So if you found the video helpful, do hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more such upcoming videos on must do coding questions for interview preparation. Thank you.